The most important function in your business is HR, human resources. And yet, despite so many SMEs talking about how their people are their greatest asset, they fail to place the importance on HR that is warranted. Some of that comes from confusing the many different elements of a HR function and, as your business grows, a HR role. This week in Blackboard Fridays, we're going to talk about a whole lot of these different areas to help you understand the things you need to be doing from a HR and some of the options you've got to turn your HR from an administrative function that costs a business money but is essential to a strategic function, one that actually demonstrates your investment in your people, those people that you value so much. We start here at the central line of this framework. We can see, to a degree, the career progression of your team. In much larger businesses than yours, these different functions within that will each be covered by a separate person and indeed perhaps even their own team. From recruitment to induction and onboarding, to managing staff reviews, and ultimately for measuring the career progression of your team members, as we discussed a few episodes ago. Of course, one of the necessary aspects of managing a team member is sometimes the performance manage. When their performance is underwhelming, when they're not achieving the tasks and they need a bit of extra attention, ideally to shift them back onto this career loop. Similarly, while we ideally keep them here in their career for the long term within our business, we do need to recognise that at times people will exit, and our HR function, our HR person, is responsible for handling the exit process, hopefully with celebration, sometimes of necessity. In a micro business, when you, the business owner, are the person responsible for all of HR, finding some time each year to perform and improve those specific tasks is important. But as the business grows, you have the opportunity to really start building in different elements, to start taking HR from just that individual team member career progression and start embedding the HR person and as a result, all of their responsibilities into the broader strategy of the business. At a high level, this means that the best HR people are working with you, the business owner, on things like brand, culture, and your strategic growth plan. And yet remarkably, I see a lot of businesses who have a HR person or an office manager with HR responsibilities, and they're not involving them in some of these key decisions. How can you plan to grow your business, which almost always involves recruiting at some point, if you don't involve the HR person who's responsible for bringing those people on board? How can you build a culture and a brand for the external market if you're not involving your HR person in making sure that they're recruiting the ideal team member for your business? They're inducting them into the brand so that as that team member performs, they're spreading the brand and living the culture of your business. Strategic HR also involves not necessarily doing, but certainly taking responsibility for making happen a range of these different tasks across a business that add an enormous amount of value to your business bottom line and indeed the equity that you're building in the business. The workflow processes. Who is doing what tasks in what order and are they as efficient as they can be? The policies and procedures. Are the manuals we've built for our team clear and are our team working on continually improving them? Training is amazingly something that a lot of businesses start to separate out. They've got a training person and a HR person and the two don't talk to each other. Your HR person needs to know. They need to be involved because they're the ones who are going to be saying, hey, the team need these skills. Wellness is not a buzzword anymore. It's now critical if you want to develop your team and indeed if you want to attract great candidates, that your business embrace a wellness strategy to help them to live the balanced and healthy life they want. And frankly, if your team are healthier, if your team are more mindful, more present, more engaged, and have more energy, that can only mean great things for your business. And again, strategic HR takes that into consideration. And then the last element that I've got is legal. Now this covers everything from employment contracts to workplace health and safety. And depending on the size, scope of organisation that you run and the industry that you're in, there may be many other aspects. If you're large enough to have a separate legal team or somebody separate with that legal responsibility, it's critical that your HR person has a relationship with them, because your HR person is going to be involved in so many aspects of each and every one of your team members that if they aren't clear on the legal obligations of your team members, chances are your team are either not going to be clear or aren't going to take it seriously. Now, don't get me wrong, having a HR person who just manages this is useful. And the larger you can grow by having one person who has overall responsibility for that career progression, the more efficient and productive that entire process is going to be. If you as a business owner want to grow your business and want to grow your business strategically rather than reflexively, then you need to empower your HR team or even your own HR skills so that it's not just about the career progression of the individuals, but it's integrating them into the brand, culture and growth plan and ensuring that these different elements of your business are documented, are communicated and are running efficiently.